It's recording.
Okay, first of all, thank you for joining this event. As always, you are the best to participate in annex events. And thank you, James, for being here with us and share valuable information about Malta. I think that it's like an open session. If you would like to raise a hand and make your question, please do it, or through the chat as well. You can write your questions. And okay, let's start to be a productive morning.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. For the people who don't know me, my name is James Perry. I am the CEO of Feltim. And I'm here this morning basically to tell you a bit about what we do as Feltim and obviously about Malta. I did a very small presentation. I promise I won't take a lot of your time. So then you can ask me any questions you want to. So I'm going to share my screen. So is everybody seeing, right? Yes?
Yes.
So basically, I wanted to start off by giving you some statistical information about Malta. As you can see, Malta has always had a quite steady amount of number. I went back to 2011 just to have starting of 70,000. At the moment, our numbers are about every year, excluding COVID year, obviously, this is up to 2019, our numbers are about 87,000, 86,000 average. In fact, I did a site at 86,000. And if you look at our main markets, it is interesting to note that our biggest market from Europe, so I divided them Europe and third country nationals. From Europe is Italy. Italy is one of our biggest countries that we attract. Italy, Germany, France, Poland, and Austria. Those are the top 5 from Europe. And the top 5 from third country nationals, in fact, the highest is Russia. We have Russia, Brazil, Japan, Switzerland, and Colombia. Colombia is the 5th country as a third country national that sends students to Malta. However, when I was preparing my presentation, I thought it was quite interesting to note that when you look at the statistics, you realize that from student weeks numbers, Colombia is in fact the second most contributor to Maltese when it comes to student weeks. In 2019, you can see once Italy has 28,000 student weeks, Colombia has 21,000, followed by Brazil. So what does this indicate? This indicates that most students from Colombia come here for a longer period of time, because just a small mathematics, if we look at the numbers, which is about 1,800 students, they come for 21,000 nights. So you can make it about, my math is not that good, 10 weeks, I would say, 10, 12 weeks. This is obviously an average, but it shows that the students from Colombia and obviously from Brazil as well tend to travel for longer periods of time. Malta, unlike most countries in the world, Malta is regulated by what an ELT council. The ELT council is a government council that controls all the English language schools. So any English language schools that decides to open in Malta must have a license with the ELT councils. This is scripted in our legislation, so it is regulated by legislation. And as Feltim, we are the recognized accreditation body for Malta, and we in fact hold 3 seats within the council. So a lot of people normally ask us, since the ELT council is regulating already, what is your role? And in fact, our objective is to ensure a higher standard. So there will be the, so to say, the competition between Feltham schools and non-Feltham schools. While every single school in Malta is checked by the ELT councils, Feltham School are go over and above, which I will tell you slightly later of what we do, in fact, when it comes to our accreditation. Feltham represents approximately 20 schools around Malta and Gozo, out of which 85%, which represent 85% of the total arrivals of students that come to Malta. When it comes to student weeks, it is approximately 89%. So we have the majority of schools. In Malta, there are 37 schools registered, 37 schools. However, Feltham represents 20 of these 37 schools. Our role is normally divided into three main things. There's quality assurance, advocacy, and marketing. As the name implies, obviously, quality assurance is based on our accreditation, which I will get into it because that is our main, obviously, and most important when it comes to agents. Advocacy, we are the representative body when it comes to discussing with government and representing even agents whenever they have situations with regards to visas. Just to give you a small example, we had a situation where Turkey was open for flights, but student visas were not open. So Feltham took upon itself to advocate for agents with our government, and we got a concession for students from Turkey to come and study to Malta. This is now during the COVID situation. So we do a lot of advocacy and marketing and promotion. Obviously, we attend the yearly events. We do our workshop, which I will tell you at the end about it for anybody who would like to meet. And we also collaborate a lot with a lot of federations. So now I have to add the list, obviously, your federation, because this is our first event that we are doing together. So I will add you to the list as communicating with federations as well. So let's talk about the accreditation. So the accreditation is based on 6 criteria. So every single school that is accredited by Feltham must pass these 6 criteria. So we check their leadership and management, learning and teaching, student welfare, environment and premises, recruitment of learners, and care of minors. We include a specific one for care of minors because Malta is renowned for the amount of juniors that come. So we have about 52% of all the arrivals are juniors, and they normally choose Malta for its safety element. Malta is renowned as a very safe country. So for this reason, Feltham felt the need to have a whole section about care of minors. As Feltham, we are recognized with a federation. I don't know if you've heard of Quailin. Quailin is an association, a federation of federations, let's say, where we meet together, consult, and also ensure that we are quality assured as well as a federation. It is very easy to quality assure somebody, but it's always harder when you quality assure yourself. So Quailin is, this is exactly what it is. It's the Quality Assurance and Language Education Network. We meet twice a year, and we also do peer-to-peer reviews, and this ensures that what we are offering to our schools is quality and spread worldwide. In fact, Feltham was one of the founder members of Quailin, and as you can see, the Quailin Group is a worldwide initiative because we have New Zealand, we have ACID, which is United States of America, Canada, Education South Africa, British Council, NIAS, which is Australia. So basically we have all parts of the world and all in favor of quality. Something which I missed saying before the slide, in fact, is regarding our quality assurance, not for Quailin as Feltham. All schools are checked 3 times a year, once every 3 years. they have the full accreditation once every 3 years. However, the second and third year, we do what is called a review visit. So we go in every school and ensure that every school is maintaining standards. However, the most important component, which is the education component, is checked every year. So every single year, we check the education component. These are my last two slides, so don't worry, I don't have a lot of slides. However, I wanted to highlight just the small points of what I see as, from marketing perspective, why choose Malta. I think obviously, as you all know, English is our official language. We have higher quality English language schools because they're regulated by legislation, a safe environment for both adults and minors. 300 days of sunshine. I believe most of Colombia is also quite sunny, so this doesn't really. But when you're marketing for Germany, it's perfect because it rains nearly every day there. So historical sites dating back 6,500 years. Anybody who knows the Maltese history will know that we have Stonehenge temples dating back 6,500 years, older than the pyramid, older than Stonehenge in London. In fact, they are beautiful, beautiful sites, and they are also all UNESCO projects or UNESCO sites. Cultural diversity. Malta being a small island, we pride ourselves in a lot of cultural diversity. Great entertainment for all ages. And this you can tell from my belly once you meet me the first time, that we have very good food. Our food is quite interesting. I am a chef by one of my studies. I studied to become a chef. And something which I learned was that our food is a mixture of cultures that dominated our island. So we have the basis of the Mediterranean, Italian, however, the spices of the Arabic spices, which make, I believe, a very nice mix. And obviously, possibilities for students to work and study while in Malta. Malta is giving opportunity to all students who would like to work, but they need to be staying here for more than 3 months. So if they decide to stay here for more than 3 months, the procedure changed slightly. Before it was they need to apply after 3 months. Now how it is that as soon as they arrive and apply for their extension, they can immediately apply for their work visa. Therefore, they will be able to work within, I would say, 10 weeks that they are here, not even less, because 2 weeks for the extension and 2 weeks, so it will be about 5 weeks that they are here. Okay, that's a very short presentation from my end. I didn't want to make it long because I know it's early, and I didn't want to take too much of your time, and also wanted to have time for any questions. If there's any questions, I don't know.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Marie. How are you?
Great. I have a question and I would like you to comment about how is Malta doing over the COVID? Are
Okay.
you getting international students already? I mean, new international students entering the country or not? Or what are the plans for Malta?
So that's a very good question. So with regards to COVID, Malta took a very hard decision way back in March, being an island, that they closed the airports, right? So we had nobody coming in and out in March. I think it was 13th of March, if memory serves me right. And due to that, by June, all June, we had no cases at all. And for this reason, in 1st of July, the government decided to open up. So 1st of July, Malta opened up for first 10 safe destinations, 19 safe destinations. And on the 15th of July, it opened its borders completely. So anybody who can fly in, who are on the safe zone, European safe zone, can fly into Malta. This lasted for all July, which was fantastic. However, by end of July, we had a few cases. Reason being, I mean, obviously, we all understand the situation. What happened was, while we were open, unfortunately, while regulations were there was no enforcement. So events continued happening. And these events, there was one particular event that unfortunately infected and started growing the numbers. We all know how numbers grow very quickly because the infection is very contagious. For this reason, we still have everything open. However, we have new measures in place. There are no events, bars are not able to open unless they're serving food. Social distancing when it comes to going out, masks when you are in public areas, when you are, sorry, in an enclosed public areas, and events cannot be greater than 100 people. So these, by doing so, we have been managing to control. In fact, before you joined in, I was telling Marcel that we were doing really well because all August, obviously the first start of August, they were quite high. For us, high is about 50, 40, 50 cases. 50, 60. But by the last 2 weeks, we were seeing the numbers go down very drastically because we're down to 10, 17, 15, 20. So the numbers went down. However, today, actually a few hours ago, they told us that today's cases went up back to 60. However, apparently this is very normal when it comes to COVID testing because we are very aggressive on testing. We have always been since day one. And for this reason, if you have a particular cluster that is tested in the same time, it tends to shoot up the numbers. As explained as well, for example, Turkey is one of our safe zones, the safe zone list. And what I did as Feltim, obviously, we started communicating with government in order to open up visas. And we did open up for student visas. We are hoping as numbers go down in various locations, we will mimic the same situation that we did with Turkey and start opening up visas for other destinations. We are confident that our numbers are going to will continue going down, although there was this spike today, in order to be continue operating. Our government does not wish to close up again. That is what is being said. Reason being is that we need to continue generating our economy, and this will help obviously generate a bit the economy. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did, James. However, as far as I understand for your explanation, Malta is almost open for safety countries, I guess. But are students traveling? I mean, are students arriving into Malta? Do you have numbers already of students arriving, or yes, people still afraid of traveling?
So no, in July we had about 10% of last year's numbers. Obviously, it's not a lot, but we were quite surprised that 10% of the student numbers. So we are looking at about, so for July, normally we have about 9,000 arrivals, let's say 10,000 for simplicity's sake. So 10% is about 1,000 students came in. August was going to be slightly higher. There was 13% arrival estimates. However, due to the slight increase, there was a decrease in numbers, and about 8% arrived. After August, normally the students are long-term numbers. In fact, we normally get a lot from Brazil, a lot from Colombia, a lot from Turkey. So obviously the numbers at the moment are quite on the low side due to the fact that most of these places are not open. But
great.
yes, they are open, and anybody who comes, you know, we're having Colombians, funnily enough, come to study, but normally because they're living in Europe. So they fly through here via Europe. I don't know if there's anybody who has more questions.
James, do you have, hi, thank you. Do you have any information about the current financial situation of your schools in Malta? Are there any in risk of the brink of bankruptcy? How's the situation in regards to the financial situation of the schools in Malta?
Okay, till now, from the information that we have, all schools are, let's use the right word, afloat, right? That they are managing to cope with the cost. The government is still subsidizing the schools. It is very important to note that he is still subsidizing the schools. And just last week, he informed us that he will be subsidizing also rent. So this is what is happening at the moment. Tomorrow, in fact, I have a meeting with the government once again in order to continue asking for subsidy. So we are not, till now, the industry seems to be okay. We know that there were 2 non-associated schools that closed down. They took a decision not to continue operating. But from our end, till now, our schools are still operating and still afloat.
Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Alejo,
James.
you're in mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Juli.
James,
Yes.
do you have a scheme where, in case one of you will the students belonging to that school will be sent to a new school to one of your members? Or?
I didn't hear all the question, but I think I know what you're asking with regards to the student protection plan, right? Yes. As Feltham, we do not have a formal student protection plan. However, in the past, when we had a school that closed down, other schools did take over the students that were on the island. However, no, unfortunately, till now, we do not have anything officially on the part of Feltham accreditation.
Is this something that are you going to be dealing with in the future? Because as you will imagine,
yes, we in fact, Julian, we did mention it. We had an AGM, I think last Friday, and we did mention it as a very good scheme to introduce. So we are hoping that in our AGM, sorry, we had an EGM. We are hoping that in our AGM we'll be proposing it and it will pass. But for now, obviously, we do not have it in place. But yes, we are working on it.
That was the same question, James. So
okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the rescue fund, but I have another one regarding the other association you named that like overviews the associations in the world.
Yes,
you know if they work. Yeah, you know if they work with agencies, associations like us, like Annex, or it has to be only like
no.
schools.
No, the way Quaylen works is we are 6, I believe, 6 federations which have jurisdiction within their country. So Maltese, Malta, in UK, so on and so forth. And we are all accreditation bodies, apart from federations, and we meet up to ensure that we are aligned when it comes to quality assurance. Since we all deal with our governments, obviously our quality assurance quality must be quite high. So we align ourselves and ensure that it doesn't mean that we have the same scheme, far from it, but we have same procedures and understand the importance of quality assurance and how quality assurance is working within our country. In fact, like yesterday, we had, in fact, Monday this week, we had the meeting ourselves. We met our, because we meet twice a year, normally 2 or 3 times a year. And we met and we were discussing obviously proposals and also schemes of how we are going to, how the COVID-19 affected us and how are the schools when it comes to quality assurance and what quality assurance measures need to be taken in these cases. So it is very important for us because it's very easy for me to check my schools and say, you have something wrong. However, somebody needs to check me as well. And this Quaylen is a peer-to-peer review, which is fantastic. And I feel the benefit out of it because it's keeping us in check as well.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anybody else who has any questions.
I have another one, James.
Yes.
As Felton, what are you doing or planning in terms of marketing for the Colombian market? I know there are some agencies that are like focused in Malta, but there are some other than maybe Canada or Australia are the main focus. So are you planning anything in terms of Colombian market, or is not your role to to push in terms of marketing?
No. So what? In fact, I'm really happy you're asking me this question. This 2021 should have been. So I have been with Felton for the past 3 years now, and every year I tend to get a market and focus on the market that we need to push. Right. 2020 was, funnily enough, China. However, it did not work that well because we ended up not going to China due to the outbreak. And 2021 was planned for Colombia, in fact. So what I'm planning is now, if everything goes well, maybe 2022 will be Colombia and 2021 will be China. However, so my plan is this. Yes, we are trying to focus on destinations which are long hauls. Why? Because our short-term market is very well established already, and a lot of students come for short terms. However, our long-term market is not established very well, and that is why we are pushing for long hauls. 2 years ago, I went to Japan and South Korea. This year, as I told you, I was planning. Last year, I was in Brazil. This year, I was going to go for China, and next year it was for Colombia. We are planning a roadshow to come over, in fact, and go through and also explain to you more about Malta and obviously enticing you to sell Malta as a destination. I think something which is very, very important for all to know is that Malta Tourism Authority, which is an authority within, obviously, the Authority of Malta, supports all agents when it comes to marketing. So they give a lot of marketing material, they give a lot of marketing promotion, and they also assist you in events if you require. So please, that is something that we will normally do in collaboration with Malta Tourism Authority in order to ensure that they are on board as well with us promoting to Colombia as a destination. Before we close, I just want to tell you, anybody who's interested, at the end of this month, we have a workshop. It's a free workshop. I know Marcella sent the link of the workshop. Anybody who's interested, please feel free. You will have an opportunity to speak to our schools, and apart from speak to our schools as well, we'll be showing some videos about Malta. Obviously, it's not the same like the live workshop, but hopefully then, if you like it, next year we will organize a fan trip for Malta together with Marcella for members of NX.
Yeah, I think nobody's against that.
I had no doubt about it. I had no doubt. We did it with Brazil, with Belta, in fact, and it was a success. It was a very nice success. We had a lot of agents coming over. Obviously, we cannot get as much as we want. We normally get about 11 or 12 agents because we will be paying for everything, including flights and all. So we will see how we'll work it out.
Yes, we want to fly, please.
Oh, same. I hear your cry. I hear your cry, Maria.
Yes.
So I don't know, Marcella, I don't think anybody has any more questions.
I think that it's over. Thank you so much, James.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I hope you found it interesting, and please feel free to contact me. My email is executive@feltham.com. Anybody who wants to send anything or request something, please feel free, and I'll get you contact with the way you need.
Thank you very much, James, for
Thank you, James.
participating. We really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Have a nice nice morning. Have a nice morning.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Thank you, you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Por favor, quédense 5 minutos.
Thank you, bye.